turn the camera around before I go live. So then I'm like really, really close to the camera. But anyway, at least it means I can say hi to you all. And yesterday I went live for the first time in YouTube and I really enjoyed it. Had quite a few people watching, which I didn't think anyone would. So that was amazing. And I really enjoyed the interaction with people. And you can see that on my channel. I need to put a thumbnail on, but at the moment it's just a picture of me and it says live Procreate paint along. So you can go check that out if you want. And today I'm going to do another live paint along painting in Procreate. I'm just going to show you my process of how I get started, and hopefully it might give you some ideas, or you might just enjoy watching. And yeah, so I'm going to turn you around and get started. I'd love to just put a little plea out there to, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe to my channel if you like my content. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, and right now I'm around 300. So every subscribe really does help, because then when I go live, I can get to go to more people, and that would be great to be able to get to more people. So yeah, okay, so I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Okay, so just can be a minute while I prepare my camera for you. Okay, cool. So I have got my iPad ready for you to show you how I get started doing a painting in Procreate. So what I have started to do is to import a playground from one of my paintings. So this is an abstract painting. It's one that I have done when I have been doing the course with Louise Fletcher. She shows you how to really loosen up and find your joy in your painting. If you want to find out more about her, then there are some videos and shorts on my channel and a podcast recording with her on my channel, so you can go and have a look and find out more about Louise and her painting process. And she teaches you how to loosen up. So I created these paintings in her course, and I decided to take them and you put them into Procreate and use them as my backgrounds. And I've been doing that for quite a long time, and I create affirmation art with them. But recently I did a figure drawing course with Gabriel Lipper. Again, I've got a really great podcast recording on my YouTube channel, and you can go and listen to that if you want to find out more about Gabriel Lipper. He's so knowledgeable and he's got so much things to share. It's great. And he's shown me how to take these playgrounds that I created with acrylic paint and use them for my figure drawings. So I'm just going to show you what I've done. So I've put this in. This is my painting that I've decided that I want to start with. And then I've chosen a figure that I would like to work with. And I absolutely love working with dancers. So yes, in Procreate, you can go to the spanner icon and you can add in a reference. If you go to the canvas, then you've got a option to choose a reference and you can click that, or you can add in a photograph and use it as a reference, and you can have it up in the corner, and then you can draw yourself. And often I will do that, but because I'm just starting this process, it's something completely new for me. I am using a photograph as a reference, and I'm going to trace that to get my initial figure. I think that can be really, really helpful. It can be helpful if you're not confident in drawing figures. It can be helpful if you are, like me, in a position where you want to practice and you don't want to spend the time trying to get the proportions and the figure correct. You want to actually just get started and be able to just get going and have a go. And also you can see that what I've done is I've turned the opacity down. So you can start to be able to see by turning the opacity down where the areas of the painting I'm going to be able to leave and show through. So I can start working on positioning this figure and deciding, where do I want this I'm on the wrong layer. Where do I want to position her? So if I move her over, for example, you can see there's a lot of red there in her face. I liked this positioning where I'm getting that kind of light area, the yellow going down into her neck, and there's quite a lot of interest here in this area. Oh, that wasn't the whole canvas. Sorry, hang on. Just wanted to zoom in so you could see. There's quite a lot of interest in this area, which I could leave in her leg. So I can start to see what areas of the painting I can actually leave in to give my painting some real interest. And that's kind of what I'm starting to learn to do. And so I wanted to kind of hop on and show you that, because I just think it's a really interesting, different way of working. And when you put your reference photo into Procreate, then that gives you the ability to decide whereabouts you might want to put your piece, what kind of composition you're looking for. So that's kind of why I am using the reference photo in that way. Like I say, you can absolutely put it in the corner and you can draw it yourself. That's absolutely fine. Of course, either way is fine, but I don't think that there's any issue in taking a reference photo and using it to trace over to give you an initial sketch. So I'm going to rename this my sketch layer. So that I know that's where I'm at. And I'm going to double tap to get true black. And then I'm going to go into my classic library and just choose a pencil. I just like the 6B pencil. So I'm just going to go on to the 6B pencil, and then I'm going to trace over my figure, and then I can start looking at what part of the figure I want to keep. So I'm just going to turn her up a little bit. Have a look at what size I want the pencil. I'll probably turn that all the way up. And I can zoom in to make it easier. So I just think this is a really great way of, and you can see it's very blurred. So I'm just making some initial marks. Can't really see it exactly. So it just gives an indication of proportion and where everything is, so that you can get started without kind of having to worry about drawing that figure in, making sure you've got all the proportions correct, because that can often be a barrier to even getting started. And I feel that when you're practicing, it can be really helpful to help you kind of learn the forms and look for the shapes when you are actually tracing in this way. It can be quite a controversial topic, because I know that a lot of people feel a certain way about tracing or using any kind of like sketching as an aid, but I think it's a great tool. And there's also something really relaxing about just tracing an image. And actually, when you try to then fill it in, just see what that's on. When you then try to fill it in, then you can see how it's really not that straightforward to actually create a painting, even if you have got your image there traced. It's not easy to fill it in, that's absolutely for sure. So I don't think that it's a tool that should be dismissed. Absolutely not. And I don't think you should feel guilty if you decide that you do want to do your painting in this way. I actually quite enjoyed using white on my last one. I've gone for black here. Kind of just forgot that I used white last time. Actually think that white is more useful, but we'll see. So I'm going to include this seat that she's on because I really like it, and it just helps you get the basic shapes and not see a figure, because when you see a figure and you see all the different limbs and all the different parts of the body, it can feel really scary and like you've got no way of knowing kind of how to even draw these shapes. But doing it this way helps you to just really focus on the shapes that you're seeing and not see them as parts of the body. And I think that could be really helpful. And there's loads of tools that you can use that you can also use to help you when you're drawing anything representational. Okay, so I'm happy with my sketch. Sometimes I will take sketches that I've done in my sketchbook, and so there you can see, actually, firstly, it's really hard to even see the lines that I've got, and especially her head. I'm not sure if I put the hair in, so no, I didn't. So yeah, sometimes I'll take a sketch that I've done in my sketchbook and I will take a photo of it and I'll pop that into Procreate, and then that way I don't have to re-sketch it, and that's quite helpful as well. But if it is a reference photo, then I may well do it this way. Okay, so you can see, you can't hardly even see that there. And now I can start having a look at what areas I might want to keep in my figure that is already in my painting. So what I love is this area here where the costume or leotard is, and all that interest that is already there is amazing. And the blue in the arm, I love the yellow coming down here into the neck. Really, so many different gorgeous areas that I can really use from that painting that I've already got. Interestingly, I quite like this light area, and I think that could have been better. So what I might do is, yeah, I've just flipped the canvas horizontally just to see how it sits on that side, and I actually really like that. So just move the canvas out so you can actually see it. Okay, so I really like that. Not sure about this black mark here. I'd probably get rid of that. But yeah, so now you can see that I've got this this figure which you can hardly see, and I've got some really, really nice coloration and paint colours going on that I can use. So in order to kind of see a bit more what I've got, I'm going to block out some of the figure. So I'm going to get myself a new layer, and then I'm going to choose a paintbrush. I'm going to just go with this acrylic brush, and then I'm going to choose a colour that I want to use to outline my figure. So I'd absolutely really love to, if you're watching, please do come into the comments and let me know what your thoughts are on this process. Okay, so there's quite a lot of pink and there's quite a lot of blue. So I've done a blue painting just before, so I don't want to do the exact same. I'm not sure about the red, but I do think there's a lot of red and pink in here, so I think I'm going to go with that kind of colour. I quite like this. It's quite nice. I'm not sure that I want my full painting in that kind of colour. So how about this kind of, it's brown. Not sure. But this is the good thing about using Procreate, that we can just try different colours and different ideas to see what we like, and we can always change it. So there's kind of like a bluey tealy here, which that's really nice. I really like that. And it really goes with some of the underneath, which means that I can leave some of these paint marks. So I can just come in, and because this is my background layer, which I will title at some point, I can come in and I can just outline the figure, and then I can start working on what I need to keep. Okay, so if you're just joining, I'm just doing a live Procreate drawing. Welcome, it's so nice to have you here. I'm showing you how I get started with my figure drawings in Procreate using a painting that I already have done, and then putting it into Procreate and working on making the background really quiet so that I can work on the figure, and using some of the figure painting within the figure. So I would absolutely love you to comment in and let me know what kind of artwork you like to do. Do you work in Procreate? Do you enjoy doing figures? Let me know. So you can start to see this taking shape. So just by getting rid of all of this chaos here, I can really bring focus to the figure, and then I can work on her. It's a really fun way of creating. Is it something that you would try? Let me know. And this floor bit at the bottom, I will probably do in a different colour, but for now, I'm just gonna use this blue, and I can always rub some of it out. So I'm just going to stay on until I've completed this outline, so that you can see how the figure is going to really come into focus. Do comment, let me know what you think, if this is interesting for you, if you're enjoying watching it, what kind of content you'd like to see. Let me know. Yesterday we had loads of people watching and commenting. It was great. Okay, so you can start to really see her coming to life now in these areas. And if you're just joining, you just think, what on earth is this woman doing? I have added my dancer to an abstract background and my figure, and I'm just blocking out the background so that I can concentrate on her and I can really bring focus to her and decide how I want to create her figure. How do I want her to be in the space? What colour palette do I want to use? I'm quite an intuitive painter, so this is just me showing my process. And I decided yesterday, the one that I did, I was near completion. So today I thought I would hop on and show you how I get started. So I'm just blocking out, just blocking this out. I've confused myself. Let me just go back and look at the reference photo. Okay, yeah, so that is, okay, fine. So that line was, this is part of the wall and the line underneath is part of the floor. So I will change that colour, but for now it's fine to just keep it the same. So this is quite a distracting background. I could turn the opacity down. That's something that I could look at doing so that the background is a little bit softer. And I can decide that a bit later. But for now, I'm just coming in with an acrylic paintbrush. I've chosen this really beautiful blue. And I've picked it from the palette, so everything is harmonious. Okay, so now I think that's probably coming to the point where I've got enough of an outline. Oops. Let's just go back into that bit because I didn't go around here, which is the bottom of the chaise lounge that she's on. Do feel free to comment, guys, if there's anything that you want to ask me, or if you are enjoying seeing this, or if it's something that you've not seen anyone do before in Procreate. Really interested to hear your thoughts. I enjoyed doing my paint along yesterday so much, so I decided to hop on again today. Hi, John, hi. Thank you so much for saying hi. I do love getting comments and seeing and interacting with you guys. So, hi, John. Thank you for commenting. Let me know, do you make art? What do you enjoy doing? Is this interesting, watching this process? So now I've left that bit there. So let's just pop that in there. Okay, so you can really see her now coming to life. Now, how cool is that? Once I move more of this background away and mute it, you really start to see the figure coming to life. And I just love that I can incorporate some of these beautiful elements from my piece in her figure, especially this bit in this leotard. I think it's going to look so cool once I start getting into the figure. So I'm just going to do a little bit more to show you. So for now, I'm probably going to leave it at that with the background, and I will work more on the background later, because what that's done is it's given me a full kind of view so that I can actually really get into the figure and I can see what I'm doing. And this is like the really cool part. Looks very cool. Thanks, Ben. Really love to hear from you and see what you think, because it is quite a different process. I was saying at the beginning, this is quite new way of working for me. I have always included a lot of my physical work within Procreate by taking photos of it and by doing a lot of affirmation work usually. And I've found it quite hard to bring figures in the way I've really wanted to. And recently I've learn how to do that. So I'm really interested in pushing that further, and just making my work really unique and different and stand out. So I do really enjoy doing that. And I love how some of these are in the right place for the tones. So you've got this dark area here on her shoulder, which I can leave, and the light area in her neck. This light bit sits perfectly on her face if the light is coming from this way, and some of these light areas on her leg and at the bottom of her foot. So that's amazing that I've already got some of the light and shade, and I've also got the colours that I can work with within Procreate. It's so easy to do that. So if I wanted to go in with the lights, I can just tap and I've already picked out that colour, which means that I can now use that exact same colour to continue to paint this area. So I'm going to just pop back to, I know I can put the reference up here, but I'm just going to have a look at the reference here for her neck. Turn that off. Okay, so I can just work on bringing that light up into her neck. So I'm actually just going to erase that because I'm on my background layer. And I'm just going to rename that so I don't forget which it is. So that's the background. And I'm going to say wall because I'll do the floor on a separate layer. So I'm going to work on her face and neck. I like to keep everything separate because that way, if I'm working on different areas at once, then it just keeps everything separate. It makes it easier to change things. So I'll just bring you close. So I'll just do like another 5 minutes, and then I will sign off for another day. But I'm really enjoying doing these lives. Do comment, let me know what you think. Is this different from anything that you've seen? Do you enjoy watching it? Okay, so I've just picked that colour, so it's completely harmonious, and I can add some light to this area. Don't want it to go too high. Oh, wow. Thanks so much, Ben. That is so kind of you. Okay, I will look into that. I'm gonna, so I can screen share my iPad to YouTube directly and overlay a face cam. That's amazing. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. That completely new to me. It's the second time I've ever done a live. Did the first one yesterday and I really enjoyed it. And so I decided that I wanted to try and do it again and keep going because I've only got about 300 subscribers and I'm trying to build that up. So that is so helpful. Thank you very much. Really appreciate people's help. Everyone's been so nice on YouTube. I really enjoy being here and being live. So that's super cool. Thank you. Oh, very kind of you. Thank you very much. I will be sure to reach out if I need a little bit of further assistance. Okay, so I've got this dark bit here, which I love. I'm going to bring that colour down. So that's now seamless. And then I can just blend these two bits together. Okay, so I've got that really lovely colour coming into the dark, and I can just lightly kind of add that into the neck. Okay, fab. Oh, you're very kind, Ben. Very, very kind. I do have a TikTok account. I don't love it. I do quite like being on YouTube, but it is worth trying different platforms. Okay, let's have a think about this hair area. I do really like the pink, but I need to get a little bit more dark in that. So I'm going to choose, let's have a look at this. It's quite dark. Maybe something a little bit more browny. Okay, let's go for this one. I'll just get that into the hair. And because it's quite a light brush, I've still got some of the colour coming through from underneath, which I really like, so I can just build that texture up. And keep some of that pinky colour showing through as well. And she's starting to take shape. I don't know if I love the brown. I actually might go for, let's have a look over here. A bit more of a purpley. Quite like the idea of a bit of a purpley colour coming in as well. But we will see what works nicely against the blue. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there because I've done half an hour and I have really enjoyed this. I hope that you've enjoyed watching, starting to see this one come to life, and I'll be sure to share a little bit more, and I will look into all the suggestions that I've had from Ben. So thank you very much for those, and thanks for being here. I'll see you on my next live.